Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, Chinese businessman robbed and a gun stolen. A businessman in Anota Bay, St. Mary, was reportedly robbed and his licensed firearm stolen during a home invasion on Tuesday. According to police reports, 35-year-old Jinglong Leo, proprietor of Jinglong Supermarket, was out on his balcony at around 11 p.m. when two armed men, one with a firearm and the other with a knife, ordered him inside. He was reportedly tied up and assaulted by the gunmen, who demanded to know the whereabouts of money as well as his firearm, alcoholic beverages, and the cigarettes. The gunmen searched his house and business place, which is located on the ground floor. The gunmen allegedly made off with Jamaican $100,000, jewelry valued at $3,500, cellular phones valued at Jamaican $300,000, and Leo's licensed Glock 17 9mm pistol with a magazine and 16 rounds. The gunmen then escaped. The matter was reported to the police, whose quick response subsequently led to the recovery of several of the stolen items. The items were reportedly seized at a premises said to be in close proximity to where the incident took place. The St. Mary Criminal Investigations Bureau is investigating. Man killed in Hanover crash. A man died as a result of injuries he sustained when the motor vehicle he was driving collided with a truck parked on the roadway in Hanover on Wednesday night. The identity of the deceased has not yet been ascertained. Preliminary reports are that about 10:25 p.m., the driver of a Toyota Voxy motorcar was proceeding along the Orange Bay Main Road when he collided with the rear section of a motor truck that was allegedly disabled along the roadway. The driver of the Toyota Voxy received multiple injuries and was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Since the start of the year, 136 people have died in motor vehicle accidents. This is two less than the 138 recorded over the corresponding period last year. Warrant ordered for woman posing as rental agent. The St. James Parish Court on Wednesday issued a warrant for a St. James woman accused of posing as a rental agent online and defrauding a victim of Jamaican $35,000. The defendant, Yannick Gordon, is facing a charge of obtaining money by means of false pretense. She did not appear in court as scheduled. When the case was brought before presiding judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton, the clerk of the court stated that she had received a medical document from the St. James Health Department indicating that Gordon was deemed unfit and had been granted sick leave from April 19 to May 5. The court was also informed that the Crown was awaiting on a document from the Bank of Nova Scotia. In light of the medical document that justifies Gordon's absence from court, the judge issued a warrant, but the execution was postponed until May 8, when Gordon is scheduled to appear in court. Court documents state that on August 10, 2022, the complainant came across an advertisement on the internet for an apartment available for rent in the Westgate area of St. James. The complainant reportedly contacted the number provided and later transferred the stated sum to the accused as a security deposit. She later attempted to contact the accused several times but was unsuccessful. As a result, a report was made to the bank and the police. Gordon was later arrested and charged. Schoolboy charged with murder in stabbing death of Ranil Plummer. The 14-year-old Irwin High School student, who was taken into custody in relation to last week's murder of 15-year-old Ranil Plummer, has been charged by the police. The teen, whose identity is being withheld, has been charged with murder. Police reports are that Plummer and the teenager had an altercation whilst at the Granville St. James School on Thursday, April 17. About 3 p.m., Plummer was approached by the said student along with a group of boys who attacked him, the police said. During the squabble, a knife was reportedly brandished and was used to stab Plummer to the chest. Plummer was assisted to hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. On Friday, April 19, the accused teen turned himself into the police in the company of family members and the justice of the peace. He was subsequently charged following a question and answer session. A court date is being finalized. Cabbie killed 3 others injured by passenger in Linstead. A taxi operator was killed and 3 of his passengers injured by a gunman posing as a passenger in Linstead, St. Catherine on Tuesday night. The deceased is Gabian Lewis of Benbow District in Guys Hill, St. Catherine. Reports are that shortly after 10 p.m., Lewis was driving his taxi along King Street in Linstead with 4 persons on board when one of them asked for a stop. The man exited the vehicle, pulled a firearm, and fired several shots inside the vehicle. He then fled the area on foot. Lewis succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Residents assisted the 3 injured passengers to hospital where they were treated. No motive has yet been established for the gun attack. The St. Catherine North Police are probing the development. Another school clash. Cops intervene at a school in St. Mary. Police had to move swiftly to intervene in another school clash, this time in St. Mary Taki High School, after 3 boys were injured during a fight at the institution. The incident brings to over 5 the number of clashes that police have had to address at schools across the island over the last month. In another incident over in Kingston, clashes between students at Mona and Calabar High School resulted in teachers having to suspend the classes for 2 days. In the St. Mary incident, 3 boys, a 14-year-old and the other 2 aged 16, sustained minor injuries during the stabbing incident, with the incident being the latest in a series of violent brawls involving school children across the island. Acting head of the St. Mary Police Division, Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, is encouraging parents to build relationships with their children, whether they exhibit bad behaviors or not. In relation to Tuesday's incident in Gale Square, it is alleged that the 3 teenagers were involved in a dispute during which they sustained knife wounds. They were later treated for their injuries, and all 3 were subsequently charged with wounding-related offenses. Francis confirmed the incident to the news on Thursday, stating that none of the teenagers received life-threatening injuries stemming from the altercation. "I can say that the police moved swiftly, and we engaged the principal of the institution, and we also reached out to the parents," Francis said. "We are encouraging partnerships to prevent any other incident of this nature as we seek to ensure that the safety of our students remain paramount," he added. While the injuries sustained by the teenagers were not life-threatening, Francis said any incident that involves a student is treated in a serious manner, where this can escalate, and we're trying to prevent as best as we can any escalation of this incident or any furtherance of violence. Cop charged with murder following incident at wake in Hanover. A policeman accused of fatally shooting a 24-year-old man during an argument at a wake in Hanover last year has been charged with murder. The Independent Commission of Investigations, in a release, said the police constable, Mike Edwards, was on Tuesday placed before the Hanover Parish Court to answer to the charge of murder contrary to common law. This charge was as a result of an investigation by Indicom and a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the release from Indicom stated. Constable Edwards was charged in relation to the March 26, 2023 police fatal shooting of 24-year-old Avado Samuels in Mount Pleasant, Hanover. At the time of the incident, the deceased was attending a wake being held at a bar in the community when an altercation between himself and officers occurred, the Indicom release stated. Constable Edwards was offered bail in the sum of $750,000 with 1 to 2 sureties. The matter is set for hearing on June 4. Man fatally shot during attempted robbery of taxi in Clarendon. A man who attempted to rob a taxi driver and the passengers in Clarendon last night was disarmed by the cabbie and fatally shot during a struggle. The deceased has been identified as 24-year-old laborer Bobby Bruce of Fraser Content in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. It is reported that about 8:20 p.m., the taxi was traveling along a roadway when, upon reaching 19 miles, Bruce attempted to rob the driver and the passengers. The driver reportedly disarmed the would-be robber of a loaded Taurus 9mm pistol, and a struggle ensued, during which Bruce was shot. He was taken to the Maypen Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The weapon was subsequently handed over to the Maypen police. The incident unfolded 2 days after a gunman shot and killed a taxi operator in Linstead, St. Catherine.